Hey guys, how's it going? Hope everybody's all doing well. Today's Friday. Hope everybody had a good week and is ready for the weekend. Um, in today's video, I want to talk about the fight that just got announced between Manny Pacquiao and Yordenis Ugas due to Earl Spence suffering an eye injury, which is very unfortunate. I was definitely looking forward to that fight, but nonetheless, I feel like Yordenis Ugas is a pretty good replacement. I feel like he's a pretty underrated fighter in the welterweight division. We just saw he gave Sean Porter all Porter could handle. So if not, being the top tier of the welterweight division, he's maybe just one step below there. Like I say, he lost a split decision to Sean Porter in his last fight. Extremely tough fight to score. A lot of people thought Ugas won the fight. I can't remember who I scored it to, but it was definitely a close, very close fight. I know he's got a couple more losses on his resume that were early on in his career, and I think they were also extremely close fights, split decisions. Other than the loss to Amir Imam, who's a pretty talented boxer as well. I think Imam is just lacks a bit of stamina and durability over 12 rounds, and the night he beat Yordenis Ugas, that was over 8 rounds, so that would definitely suit Imam, in my opinion. Whereas Ugas, he's a pretty crafty fighter, Cuban fighter. So he's pretty technically sound, pretty good fundamentals. Like I say, he's a pretty good technician but I think he's very patient and he conserves his energy pretty well, and that's why I feel like he's much better suited to 12 rounds than 8. If he fought Imam over 12 rounds, I'd probably favor Ugas to pick up the victory there if they fought again. But so let's talk about this fight now between Ugas and Pacquiao. Like I say, Ugas is pretty underrated in the welterweight division, in my opinion. He has a pretty good left jab, which he mixes up both to the head and the body. Also got an extremely good left hook to the body. He claims to be the best puncher and the body puncher in the welterweight division. He's one of the best body punchers in the welterweight division, but we've got quite a few at the moment. But definitely has a very good left hook to the body, decent counter right hand. In my opinion, he's a bit flat-footed, but also I think his head is a bit too much on center line. I don't think he moves his head enough, but he also leans over slightly with the head forward, but that may be because he's trying to draw, the punch out of his opponent, trying to draw a jab out of them so he can use his counter right hand. So that might be, part of his tactics when he's in there. But I feel like against Manny Pacquiao, a lot of the things Ugas does well, Pacquiao kind of takes away from you, because like I say, Ugas has a very good left hook to the body, but Manny Pacquiao, he's very good at hiding his body in there. It's very seldom you see Pacquiao getting beaten up to the body. With Pacquiao's leg and foot speed, he's able to control distance extremely well. He's outside the pocket, too far away for you to land body shots. Then he's so sudden and explosive, he can jump in the pocket, throw a 3, 4, 5 punch combination, hard punches that, catch you by surprise. Then he's back out the pocket, on an angle, moving laterally on the outside with his great foot speed. So I feel like Pacquiao, now his legs have, I think, slightly deteriorated as he's gotten older. But I still think because his foot speed and hand speed was so superior at one point, I still think he has, some of the best foot and hand speed in the welterweight division. He's still ahead of most fighters, if not all fighters in the welterweight division in terms of his foot and hand speed. So he's going to have that advantage in this fight, as he usually does. So that's going to be something Ugas is going to have to deal with in there. Now, Porter is also sudden as well, but he's obviously not on the level of Manny Pacquiao in terms of suddenness, and not nearly technically as good as Manny, as well as Manny being a southpaw. So Ugas, like I say, also has a good counter right hand, but Manny Pacquiao, with his feints and his foot feints and head feints, as well as his suddenness, and he has a very hard rhythm and routine to kind of get down and time. I mean, it took Juan Manuel Marquez a few fights to really get his timing down, and even in that last fight, Marquez was, getting beaten up in there before landing that hard counter right hand that put Manny down. So Pacquiao's a very tricky guy to get his timing down and be able to counter. So I think Ugas may struggle as well to land that right hand as well, counter right hand in this fight, due to him being a bit slower than Pacquiao. And then also, like I said, Ugas has a pretty decent left jab that he throws to the head and the body, which I like. But Manny Pacquiao is, pretty much an expert at taking away an opponent's jab. There's been very few fights, if any fights, in Pacquiao's career where you can say he's been controlled by an opponent's left jab, other than maybe the Mayweather fight and maybe Morales. So you really got to look and search for an opponent that was able to control Manny with the jab. And then also, the thing about being able to control Manny with the jab is I think then you have to have, that foot speed and lateral and horizontal movement to be able to go with the jab. And I don't think Ugas has that. For me, he's too flat-footed. So I don't think he's going to be able to keep Pacquiao on the end of a jab, which I think Earl Spence was going to try and do. I didn't think he was quite going to be able to do it either. But I think he would have had a better chance than Ugas, even though Ugas as well has a height and reach advantage over Pacquiao. I don't think he's really going to be able to take advantage of that in this fight. Now, Ugas, he kind of reminds me of Tim Bradley a little bit. He can do it all in there, but really not great at any one thing in particular. But like very scrappy, has a lot of heart, got a lot of dog in him. But as well as with power, Ugas, he's not the biggest puncher in the division, so I can't really see him catching Pacquiao with one shot and putting him down, unless Pacquiao's punch resistance is just, completely falls off a cliff at his age. But Ugas has respectable power. He hasn't got feather fists at all. I mean, he's got respectable power. Actually, I would have expected him, with the quality and the kind of crisp shots that he lands and that we saw in the Porter fight, he has got power. I would have actually expected him to have more knockouts in his 26 victories than he does. But still not like a massive puncher in the welterweight division. Respectable power, in my opinion. Now, I think another advantage that Ugas has in this fight is the fact that he's been very active over the last 3 years. I think he's fought 7 or 8 times over the last 3 years, whereas Manny Pacquiao's been very inactive over the last couple of years. I think he hasn't fought since he fought Thurman, which was about 2 years ago. So, he's been very inactive, and that could affect Pacquiao in terms of ring rust, whereas Ugas, he's been very active. He's, been staying in shape, fighting constantly, so there'll be no ring rust on his behalf. Whereas Pacquiao, it's yet to be seen whether he'll have ring rust or not after this long layoff. However, I must say, I've been watching Pacquiao's training, and all the clips on YouTube that I've been able to see of Pacquiao. I've heard, the rumors that he's been dropping sparring partners. I will say Pacquiao has been looking extremely good in training, so I'm not expecting him to have any ring rust going into this fight. He looks in incredible shape as well. So, like I say, I think Pacquiao won't really have any trouble with ring rust. So, even that advantage for Ugas, I don't think is really going to be too much of an advantage in there. But, Ugas is a very physically strong and durable welterweight. Big, has a size advantage over Pacquiao. So those are his advantages going into this fight. But in my opinion, Manny Pacquiao, is rightly the favorite for this fight. Even though I said Ugas is underrated, I do think Pacquiao should be the favorite going into this fight. And I think Pacquiao's probably going to win the fight by unanimous decision. I think he has got a chance at stopping Ugas. With Ugas being a bit flat-footed, I think Pacquiao will be able to land pretty regularly. But whether he'll be able to keep that same pace and tenacity up that he used to be able to when he was in his prime, where he'd start at one pace and he'd just keep that one pace up throughout the whole 12 rounds and beat you to a pulp. I don't think he can do that anymore at this age. I think, like we saw in the back half of the Keith Thurman fight, he was beating up Keith Thurman early in the fight, but then he started to fatigue and he had to kind of take rests in some of the rounds, which kind of allowed Thurman to get back into the fight a little bit, even though I still had Pacquiao winning, pretty comfortably and clearly. But, Pacquiao couldn't keep that same tenacity up for the full 12 rounds. Otherwise, I think he would have stopped Thurman had they fought in their prime. So this isn't a prime Pacquiao. I don't think he can keep that same pace up for the full 12 rounds. If he could, then I would be picking him to stop Ugas. But like I say, I don't think he can keep that pace up for 12 rounds. So I think, he'll probably build up a lead early in the fight for the first, 6 rounds, 6 to 8 rounds. I think he'll be building quite a substantial lead up on Ugas. And then I think maybe the last 4 or so rounds, he'll probably start to slow down a bit. And Ugas might start to have a bit of success. But I still think Pacquiao, will come away victorious, probably with a 12-round unanimous decision. And that's my thoughts and opinions on this fight. And then hopefully we get to see the Earl Spence fight take place, because he did say he wants the winner of the fight. So I'm picking Pacquiao to win. Then hopefully we get to see Earl Spence versus Manny Pacquiao up next, either right at the end of the year or the beginning of next year. And yeah, guys, let me know how you guys see this fight going in the comment section below. Who you guys picking? I'm pretty sure most people will be picking Pacquiao. But also, like I said, with Ugas being a good body puncher, I'm not quite sure if I mentioned. I think I mentioned that Pacquiao's foot speed and his ability to control range by being outside the pocket, then getting in and out, will take away Ugas's left hook to the body. Also, Pacquiao being shorter, he makes his shortness an advantage in there, and he fights small, which also takes away the opponent's ability to work his body. So, like I say, I don't see many ways that Ugas can win this fight, other than maybe catching Pacquiao with one shot and knocking Pacquiao out. I can't see him outboxing Pacquiao over 12 rounds. So, but like I also said, I don't think Ugas quite has the power to put Pacquiao down or out. So yeah, I'm picking Manny Pacquiao to win this fight by unanimous decision. Let me know how you guys see this fight taking place in the comment section below. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.